When I was preparing to leave Europe at the end of 8th grade, my parents introduced me to the Commonwealth School. At the time, I had been enrolled at the Franz Liszt Academy of Music in Budapest, Hungary, for the previous 4.5 years. While I lived there, I had also attended an American international school. The majority of my time in Hungary was spent working on my piano playing, as well as performing in the academy and concert halls abroad. But even then, the truth was that I had no idea what I wanted to do in the future, and I decided that my parents probably knew what was best for me. So I had no complaints about the move. After all, they were the ones supporting me. Still, seeing as though a quick Google search led me to think of the Commonwealth School as a small and academically rigorous school, I was a little surprised because I thought my parents would have wanted me to put even more time into music during high school. Fast forward 2 years to the end of my sophomore year here, and I still dreaded being asked the question, what do you want to do in the future? But while it was usually my parents and teachers asking me that, I also knew that I had to start asking myself the same question. It was the spring of 10th grade when I felt like I was not achieving what I wanted to achieve, from both musical and academic aspects. As a student, I obviously wanted to get good grades, but I also wanted to learn as much as I could from the classes, rather than rush through the work given to me so I could have time to practice piano. During my first 2 years here, I quickly learned that 2 hours of efficient piano practice is better than 6 or more hours of unfocused work at the instrument. Still, I realized that I was pushing myself to do too many things at once, and I began to worry myself with the thought of, what if I end up not making the grade as a musician or as a student? I thought maybe my parents wanted me here in the first place because they worried that I would need a plan B in case music didn't work out as a plan A. These worries were taking place in my head after a few failed attempts at piano competitions and some poor grades in school. Sorry, Ms. Jackman. And while my parents and advisor were being very supportive and tried to help me push through the final 2 years, I knew I had to make my own decisions. So I asked myself, can I imagine my life without music and the work that comes with it? The answer has and always will be no. Then I asked myself, can I imagine my life without more than 5 credits worth of classes and homework? The answer was yes, please. But in all seriousness, the asking of those questions at the same time was important because I did not want to give up anything or take the easy way out by doing what I thought I was better at. The idea of transferring to Walnut Hill Art School in Natick was actually brought up between my parents and I during this time. But I decided against it after spending some time thinking about how much I had already learned here in my maths and science classes, and how I would not get the same unique English class anywhere else. Sure, it was a risk to decide on music since, even now, I still don't know for certain what I want to do in the future or whether I can become a good enough musician, but I was determined to make it work for myself. I had to convince my parents and advisor that, while I was going to take fewer classes in junior year, it was only so that I could put more focus on music. More importantly, I wanted to prove to myself that I could achieve more as a musician while still doing well in school. The change in balance between school and music has taught me how to adjust my priorities and work efficiently. I also now realize that an education here at Commonwealth has absolutely been a plan A for me. The school is no longer a place where I try to just get work done and receive good grades, even after my decision to pursue music. Instead, I am finding that I am enjoying the things I learn in class much more, and when possible, I even try to relate them to the world of music. For example, art history at Commonwealth has greatly influenced the way I have approached the music of Impressionist and Romantic composers, such as Ravel and Rachmaninoff. In class, we have been studying the works of many French artists, such as Monet's Impression Sunrise, and we've worked on analyzing them. For example, in this painting, the style is impressionistic, as Monet was trying to show the impression that the landscape had on him at that instance. As for the colors, they are layered in various different tones, creating a rich but calm canvas. The different shades of cool blue and green in front of the warm color of the sun give a feeling of dreamlike serenity. Before taking art history, I had always been told that music was connected to other aspects of life, but I had never actually thought about trying to relate it to an example as specific as a certain painting until recently. A few months ago, I started to learn a piano piece by French composer Ravel, composed in the same style as this painting, Impressionism. The piece, titled Jeu d'eau, which is translated as water fountains or playing water, is all about its different colors and characters. Just like the colors in art, the sound of a musical instrument can have cool and warm tones to it. the musical equivalent to the different shades of cool colors in this Monet painting would be like playing the music with a mystical and airy sound. When I was learning Jodo, we had not gone into the French impressionistic artists in art history class yet, and I played it something like this. After taking a couple of months off from practicing it, getting to study these kinds of paintings in art history, and realizing the connections between the two art forms, I am playing it with the aim of having a sound that includes more artistic colors and tones. Something like this. Heading into my auditions for college a few months ago, I knew that there were going to be hundreds of musicians who were at the same level as me, if not better. Many of them had probably practiced much more than I had over their 4 years of high school, perfecting their musical technique and skills. However, the process I have undergone in making my decision at the end of 10th grade has helped me see the truth in the idea that music is not detached from other aspects of life. It is not detached from science, math, literature, and of course, other art forms. Thank you.